What is up, my Lorcana Goons? Welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. You're watching the weekly Monday Market Watch. We do these every Friday and Monday, so if you like this kind of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But today, we have for you some crazy market prices and even a card reveal that just happened about a couple 30 minutes ago, maybe an hour ago, from the Disney Lorcana official page. Check this out. We have Aurelian Gyro Sensor. This is going to be a 2 ink cost item that's inkable that says whenever one of your character's quests, you may look at the top card of your deck, put it on either the top or the bottom of the deck. So this is not a once per turn ability, so you can actually do this multiple times if you quest with multiple characters. So it's kind of like a nice an inkable version of Ursula's Cauldron. It might be just a little bit better for some of these Sapphire decks, am I right? And I just realized it's probably pronounced Gyro Sensor, not Gyro Sensor, right? But let's get on into some of these crazy prices. But first of all, I do want to mention not to buy these pre-order singles from Into the Inklands, like the Neverland location card that was revealed this weekend. This is another card reveal we haven't gone over, so we are going to be getting some vanilla locations. This is a 1 ink location. It has a an inkable 1 cost, and you can basically play it for 1 on turn 1, and you can move characters to it by paying this smaller cost right here, and it has 4 willpower. There's another version of this card as well. It's basically the same thing. It's going to be the Deville Manor. That's a pretty cool location in my opinion. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be worth $2. You'll probably find these in starter decks, or they'll probably be worth pennies. But there are some listings here, one for $2 and one for $6. So maybe don't get these for $6 in my opinion, right? Maybe wait for Into the Inklands to hit the shelves. Same thing with the starter decks. $26 is kind of expensive for a starter deck when we've seen how much they've printed the first chapter and the Floodborn starter deck. So you will definitely be able to find starters at MSRP. No need to pre-order those. You might want to consider pre-order the Into the Inklands booster box if you cannot find an LGS near you to make pre-orders in person, mainly because it's looking like these are definitely actually selling, and sometimes we don't know what's going to happen with the boxes because the Rise of the Floodborn booster boxes are way below MSRP right now, but the first chapter booster boxes are actually above MSRP significantly again. Guys, check this out. Over the weekend, we've seen the price for these just shoot up. Plenty of sales happening over the weekend on these first chapter booster boxes for more than $200 now, guys. Look at that. It went from $199. Now today, they've been selling for more than $220. So there's only 23 listings left for first chapter booster boxes. Lowest verified listing is going to be by Card Titan Pro for $230. And if we've learned anything from these first chapter booster boxes, my goons, is that these prices are super volatile. They've been going up and down, and for a while they hit MSRP, and I didn't expect them to jump this much above MSRP. So you guys let me know what you think is happening. I've been seeing a lot of rumors about how we're not getting any more reprints for the first chapter, but let's be honest with ourselves, that is not confirmed. And until the day that the Ravensburger or Lorcana tweets out or says, hey, we're no longer going to be restocking the shelves with first chapter, like the actual packs or whatever, then I will definitely agree to that statement. But until then, I'm always gonna keep my options open. I'm probably not gonna ever invest too much in some of these things because there is always that chance that Ravensburger can just print a bunch more, you know what I mean? We do know now that the original first quarter reprints came a little earlier, but they could give us more reprints for all we know. I know there's a lot of like hearsay about distributors saying they're not going to get any more of the first chapter. Personally, I actually got some first chapter last week, some booster boxes. I got 2 of them. I kept one for a seal. I'm probably going to crack the other one. And again, we just don't know though. Like I have some distro peeps who have also told me that they've placed orders for the first chapter, but they just don't know if it's going to come. One of the big things too though is that a lot of LGS locations have been applying in the last couple months to be an official Lorcana store. And one of my concerns is that I don't think the Ravensburger / Lorcana company is going to approve these stores without giving them some of the first chapter. You get what I mean? Like, I mean, they could say, hey, you're an official store now, but we don't have any first chapter to give you. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I am a little afraid that they are going to keep printing the first chapter. And I do want to mention that because Zach Stone, and the other Lorcana Goon on the Lorcana Goons team, has wanted to personally mention that what's going on right now in the market happens in a lot of other TCGs, and it's something that we can kind of predict, and it might be let's say not necessarily the most authentic market today. So let's get on into some of these prices, because some of these enchanted rares have been shooting up, which is probably one of the reasons why the first chapter booster box has been going up as well, you know what I mean? But like I just finished saying, this might not be the most organic situation that's happening right now. And that's, I'll be frank with you guys, some of this looks like a buyout. And when I say buyout, I don't just mean that like random people are buying up all the cards. No. I'm saying that like there's more than likely a group of people who have a lot of money who are buying these expensive cards when they were super cheap, like the Enchanted that were less than 100, or even Elsa when it was closer to 400. They're buying up multiple $400 Elsas. They're letting the market get super hyped, and when they see the hype is coming, they're selling all of their Elsas in person. They're relisting them, and what ends up happening is, give it some time and these prices are going to fall again. We don't need reprints to watch these prices fall again, trust. And I'm saying this because I know that there's a lot of people that are hyped on the Enchanted stuff right now, and I can see it in the video views. Whenever the market is low, you goons don't like watching the videos because it makes y'all feel bad, and I understand that. But one of the things that I like to remember is that when the market is low, it's actually just the better time to watch the videos, in my opinion, because you actually can see what cards are undervalued. Honestly, oftentimes, if you look at a card and you think, hey, that's a good price, or that card's like cheaper than what I thought it was going to be, and you have the money and the means, obviously, maybe you should get the card then and there, you know what I mean? Because some of these enchantments were less than $100, and now they're just doubling in price. But let's get on into these prices today. Let's look at this, guys. We even have a sale that happened today for a 1,100 Enchanted Elsa. It is a BGS 9.5. Pretty crazy. Check that out. Now, I'm bringing this up because the Enchanted Bell that sold was also a Beckett 9.5, and that was one of the reasons why a lot of these started kind of jumping up in price. So you know, now we're seeing it with Elsa as well. So some of the graded Elsas are starting to sell for more than $1,000 again, which is cool to see. So if you have a graded Elsa, you know, maybe you might want to hold on to that. As of today, plenty of sales happening for that $600 mark. We have a $630, $640, $625. So more than $600 is what you're gonna have to pay today for a near mint Enchanted Elsa. Now, we've seen this card, we've seen the raw of this card bounce off that $1,000 mark at one point during the first chapter, and I just don't think that's going to get there again. And if it does get there again, I don't think it's going to be legit. So don't go chasing this wave right here. Don't go chasing this hill. FOMO is very real, and you do not need to spend that much money if you don't have it. But by all means, if you just want to spend the money, spend the freaking money. Because one of the cool things about the Enchanted Rares is that I personally got a Tinkerbell back when the first chapter was super duper hyped. I paid, I think it was like $225 for it, like some cash, some trade, right? And then the price of Tinkerbell fell so much. It fell to close to $140, $130, and I was kind of feeling bad, you're not gonna lie. But I always tell myself, when I'm buying collectibles like this, it's a collectible for me, you know. Like, I'm buying it because I want it in my collection. Like, it has value to me, you know. The monetary value is a separate part of it, you know. So when I woke up today and I see that the lowest near mint verified is going to be by Cardboard Store for $280 for this Enchanted Tinkerbell, I feel good about my purchase again. Yeah, earlier in the format, I felt a little like, ooh, I should have waited, you know. But like, I feel fine, you know. I feel a little validated, you know what I mean? So when it comes to these collectibles, if you want to make these purchases, like, just, you know, understand that this price could be half the price next month. You know what I mean? Ravensburger can wave a magical wand and an oogly boogly more first chapter for everybody, and then it's, you know, there's just going to be way more enchantments in the market. But overall, definitely make sure to take the information with a grain of salt. But Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, check this out. A bunch of sales happening over the weekend for that $280 price range. There's one that sold today for $200, kind of crazy. $250, $230. Over last week though, they were in that $150 range. And one of the issues too is that a lot of sellers, they'll pull listings off. You know what I mean? They'll collaborate with all these people who are making these buyouts happen. They'll pull their listings so that there's only a certain amount of available listings left. Then everybody starts changing their prices, right? Another card that just shot up in price, check this out, Aurora. And if you guys are looking to capitalize on what's going on right now, maybe you do want to consider trying to get rid of some of these enchanters right now. You know, if you have any people who have been trying to buy enchanters from you, or if you just want to list them on TCG Player and try and get rid of them that way, you know, there's a lot of hype today. So an Aurora sold today near mint for $160 and $169 over this weekend. So around that $170 to $200 range. There was some that sold for $250, $195, etc. Now, because the listings are so low though, the lowest verified is actually going to be a $300 by Card Father game. So that's pretty crazy in my opinion. There's also a graded CGC 9 if you guys want a graded version. But as you can see, it's the amount of listings that's really making the impact on this price right now. It's the scarcity why people are listing this card for $350. give it a month or two when people start opening more first chapter packs, and there's going to be more listings. There's going to be more listings on the shelves, guys, and I do think the prices are going to go down because I don't think the Simba Enchanted Air it deserves to be $300. An amazing card, don't get me wrong, but listing it for $300 is one thing, but are people actually buying it for that price? Not necessarily. So the most recent sale was $200, and as of this weekend, plenty of people were buying it for $130, $140, $170, $180. So it's been jumping around a lot in just one weekend, and that's just kind of sus. Way too much volatility with these card prices right here for me to entrust making a purchase like this today. Like if I were to buy this Simba for $300, I would not feel satisfied. I would not feel confident. I would not feel like I spent my money correctly. I would definitely wait before trying to chase some of these enchanted rares. There's only 8 listings left. Like I just said, people are going to list more of these very soon. Maui, Hero to All, no longer less than $100 though. So that's what I want to mention too. Just because these prices are going to go back down, I don't think they're going to go back down to where they were. No. I don't think Simba's ever going to be less than $100 again. I don't think Maui's ever going to be less than $100 again on the enchanted rare level, because now I think some people are kind of starting to see some of the real value for the enchanted rares. About $100, well, so $130 is what they were selling for over the weekend, but as of today, plenty of sales for $150, $145, $134. You know, so I feel like that's kind of chasing spending that much money, but definitely don't spend this $200 plus right here. This is the lowest verified listing. It's going to be $249 by Emerald Star Cards, and there's no bad energy or anything like that to anybody who is listing the cards at that price, because again, I could just be wrong. For all I know, next week these are $500 cards, which I don't think is gonna happen, but you know what I mean. Like if you guys want to collect your monies, you know, claim some gains, by all means list the cards, sell them, get rid of them, man. You make your money, get your bag, you know what I mean. Next we have Genie on the Job, which has been seeing a lot more meta play, by the way. An awesome card used currently in the Emerald Amber Mufasa deck, and if you guys want to see a deck list like that, check out the most recent video where we went over the top 8 from the Thea Beastie Pixelborn tournament that happened this weekend, and there was a second place to Emerald Amber Mufasa deck that was playing Genie, Mufasas, Cuscos, etc. But anyways, Enchanted Genie, no longer less than $100, by the way, so this lowest verified is going to be $150 by Underground Games. Now this looks more like an organic situation happening here. This is more so where I think these enchanted rares are going to be priced at when the prices kind of calm down a little bit, closer to this $150 mark for some of the lower end ones, and then that $200 to $250 mark for, let's say, like the Tinkerbells and Bells, you know what I mean? And then Elsa, you know, will probably fall a little bit, but I don't think it'll be that much. But let's take a look at Belle, because Belle's kind of the one that started this whole thing. So there was that sale that happened over the last week, which was this, like I said, this Beckett 9.5 for $380, and after that, everyone started listing their Belle on TCG Player for like $300+, which is a little silly, but some of them did start selling for a pretty high price. We had one that sold for $150, then it went to $250, $288, $291. But as the weekend has calmed down, especially after this $300 sale right here, we can now find plenty of non-verified sellers listing the card for less than $300. You know what I mean? And this is what's gonna happen. When we looked at Belle last Friday, there was only about 6, I think it was like 6 to 8 listings. I don't remember. It might have been 8 listings. One weekend later, 25 listings, guys. 25 listings for this, and look how many are unverified. It's going to take a while for these to sell, and a lot of these sellers are going to start lowering the prices. So what's happening to Belle is what's going to happen to the other Enchanteds as well. See, so good it even rhymed. Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, just want to say that this card is selling for more than $300. So I do like the hype for the Rise of the Flutterborn Enchanteds, because hopefully that makes the Rise of the Flutterborn boosters hike up in price just a little bit more, you know what I mean? Because they're so undervalued. But a couple sales happening today for $340, $310 yesterday, $312, $320 over the weekend. Right now, there's a couple light plates for $300, but the lowest verified near mint is going to be by Poke Academy for $300 flat. Then we have some that are in that $310 range, you know? So this card is bouncing off. It's kind of struggling to really commit to staying over $300, but we'll see what happens with Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. Some of the other enchanted rares from Rise of the Floodborn that are going up are Snow White. This one, the lowest verified near mint, is now $188, close to $200 now. And if you guys want to compare this to how it was last week, they were selling for less than $150. Couple of sales happening over the weekend for more than $200, $215, $219, $165, and as of today, lowest verified $189, $190 basically. So pretty close to that $200 range is what Snow White Well-Wisher is looking like. Even the lowest of the low and enchanted rares are starting to pick up in price, like Pete Bad Guy, which is no longer less than $70. These were selling for around that $75 mark for such a long time. As of today, plenty of sales happening for that $85 to $86 mark. There's only 17 listings left, and pretty soon this will probably be around close to like $90 to $100. I think Lady Tremaine, by the way, is an undervalued enchanted rare, because this card was definitely selling for like 80 some dollars, and as of this morning, they're still barely hitting like $95 to $100. So if you can find the Lady Tremaine near mint for less than that $100 range, I would definitely cop. But as of today, the lowest verified is going to be by Fine Lux Cardboard for 117. So this card is already going up in price. Same thing with Arthur, by the way. I think that's a really good enchanted rare. But enough of the enchanted rare hype. Let's take a look at Beast Tragic Hero, the most expensive legendary in Lorcana right now, and the most sought after card from Rise of the Floodborn. Card continues to surprise me, still selling for that $50 mark over the weekend, guys. $46 to $55 is like the sales range that we're seeing. But most people are probably going to end up paying $50 cash more than likely, or around that price range when you're buying your Beast Tragic Heroes, because it's such a popular card. It's such a good card. One thing I do want to note, though, is that there's way more listings today than there was last Friday. And I always pay attention to the listings, because when there's an influx of listings, we start to see the prices go down a little bit. So I do think maybe Beast Tragic Hero might come down a little bit. I am starting to notice the rest of the singles in the market kind of calming down. But the legendaries are still keeping some value. But check this out. The foils are still selling for even more throughout the weekend. Prodigy Games has you for $69.94 for your Beast Tragic Hero foils. So $70 is what you're now going to pay for your Beast foils, guys. So, oh man, love to see it. I love it when foils just oogly boogly shoot up and ride these waves, man, because foils are the way to go with Lorcana, guys. And when you see cheap foils for cards like this, I just have to stress, pick them up. You know what I mean? Like, it's so worth it. Like, it's just so nice to have like a collection of TCG cards that are not only like playable, reliable, but are going to maintain some type of value. And I do think that the Disney Lorcana card game is very special because of the IP, the intellectual property of it being Disney characters. And a lot of people, I've noticed, a lot of other card games kind of like try to pick at Lorcana because it's Disney, but dude, like, Disney is hard. Like, Disney is cool as heck. A lot of people are going to be wanting to collect these in the future. But anyways, Maleficent Monstrous Dragon selling for that cold foil price of $77, going by the lowest verified right here by Win Condition Games. And there's plenty of listings for $77 for that foil Maleficent Monstrous Dragon. But if you don't want a foil Monstrous Dragon, you can pay $37.70 from T-Mac Cards for a non-foil version. So the non-foils are basically $40, and the foils are closer to $80 to $90 already. Give it some time, these might hit over $100. We just don't know. Rapunzel did that last format, and it's looking like it's getting close to those price ranges again. The biggest difference is that Rapunzel isn't as popular this format as Maleficent Monstrous Dragon or even Sad Beast, you know what I mean? But Rapunzel's selling today for a whopping $35.98 with $4 shipping by Zeke's Comics Game. So about $40, which is kind of crazy because these are going back up on the non-foil price. For a cool minute, they were sticking around that $30 to $35 range last week, which is very nice to see. But if you guys didn't pick those up last week, you're probably gonna have to start paying $40 starting this week. You know what I mean? Legendaries, like I said, continue to kind of surprise me. They do kind of ride the waves up, but anything other than legendaries is coming down, and you'll see that in the rest of the video. Taylor Singles has you for a foil though for $72. So if you guys want a foil Rapunzel, about $72 to $75 is what you're gonna pay for a near mint foil Rapunzel, gifted with healing, which is basically double what it was last month. Belle, strange but special, seeing a lot of play this weekend in the some of the online tournaments, the in real life tournaments, and a lot of the top 8 lists. And it's no wonder why this card is now selling for a lowest verified of $24.56. So you're gonna have to pay $25 for Belle now. And if you guys wanted to play Sapphire, I do think that is probably worth it, because Belle's definitely one of the better cards in the game. You know what I mean? Over the weekend, plenty of sales happening for that $25 range, and a cold foil sale for $37 as of today. If you want a cold foil Belle, it's $40 though. So these cards are shooting up in price a little bit. Mufasa has calmed down a little bit. I do think paying $25 might have been a little excessive. It was a little hyped, but the Emerald Mufasa deck is really strong right now too. You know what I mean? And that deck has a really good matchup against Ruby Amethyst. So it's definitely worth $20, and we have a Laws of Phoenix lowest verified listing here for $19.99, and plenty of sales happening today for that $19 to $20 range, and plenty of listings in that $20 range, not $25 anymore. But the foils for these are still going going to be about $35. So I think this is an awesome card to get if you want to pick it up now. I don't think it'll, you know what, it could be more than 20 bucks again soon. You know, the Emerald Mufasa deck is really good. Hades Infernal Schemer, definitely maintaining its price up above $20 this weekend. Plenty of verified listings for $22, $23, not $25 yet, but getting there. And as of yesterday and today, a bunch of sales happening for $19.99, $21. Even the foils have been selling like hotcakes, $38 to $40 for the Hades Infernal Schemer foils over the weekend. And today the lowest verified is Big Boy Gaming TCG, $40.03. So $40.03 for shipping. So about $45 for a foil Hades is what you're looking at, which is pretty neat to see. Carefree Surfer Stitch. Let's see how much this dude can ride his waves, because last week he was bouncing off that $20 mark. Today, lowest verified is still $18.75 by Resource Games, so a $20 legendary seems very fair for that card. But the foils going up a little bit more in price again. $35 by Sons of Arceus for your foil Carefree Surfer Stitches. Good to see. A very good card and definitely worth it in the foil version. Ursula Power Hungry, seeing a lot of meta play in Ruby Amethyst this format lately, and it's showing in the price as well. The lowest verified we have is now $16 by one TCG Games. So you're definitely not paying $10 for this card anymore. You're probably gonna have to pay $15 or more this week for Ursula Power Hungry, and there's plenty of sales to back that up. A bunch of listings for $14.99, $15.40, 2 light plates for $16. You know what I mean? So people are paying $16, almost $20 for the Ursulas. Oh, and check this out. This looks like a little buyout happening right here. There's only 2 listings left for the foil version of Ursula Power Hungry, and the lowest verified is $44.99 by a Hidden Fortress. So I don't know if you want to buy this. There's probably going to be more foil listings soon by this week, but still, once these sell out, the price for this foil might shoot up again. If you guys remember in the first format, at one point these were selling for about $60 for the foil. You know, and these are just hard to pull for foil, I think. So it might get back there again. Elsa Spirit of Winter, another legendary, going back up in price, no longer in that $15 less range. Today we have Resource Games that has it for the lowest verified listing of $15.99. So same thing as Ursula, you're going to be paying more than what you were paying about a month ago for these legendaries now. Lowest verified for the foil is going to be End the Pokemon for $40 though. So if you pull a foil Enchanted Elsa, that's $40 right there. Some cool cards that I do want to consider maybe picking up myself before they go up in price. Like we've seen some of these legendaries go up in price, might be Bell, Hidden Archer. If you guys haven't seen the leaks, there are some leaks for Into the Inklands, and there are some cards that are going to make this card a little bit better in my opinion. And I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I do think that less than $10 is a decent price for this card, especially when the card was super hyped and was selling for about $45 on the first week. I think you might maybe consider picking these up before Into the Inklands comes out, or even consider getting the foils, since the foils aren't that much more expensive than the non-foils. The non-foils are $10 and the foils are about 19 to 20, so you know, double the price for the foil and Bell Hidden Archers, and they might go up next format, because when you can shift this Bell on a turn 1 or 2, it's going to be a lot better, right? Another card we have is Fairy Godmother that I think might be kind of decent to pick up, because the foils are only about $10, and a lot of the non-foils were selling this weekend for about $6 to $7, so only about $3 more for the foil version of Fairy Godmother. Seems a little cheap for a legendary foil that again has a lot of potential in my opinion. There's not like a good shift target for the Fairy Godmother currently, but if they make a 1 or 2 drop Fairy Godmother, oof, that's such a good card, right? Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor has been seeing a lot of sales this weekend. I've noticed a bunch of people buying them for more than $7, even though they were selling for less than $7 last week. And a lot of the foils are selling for close to $40 again. So those verified is going to be $7.50 for the Mickey BLT non-foil, and the foil is going to be $40 by Red07's shop. They have $40 for you, and this card is pretty good. It continues to go up in price. I think if you have a foil Mickey BLT legendary, maybe just hold on to it. You know what I mean? I think it's a very solid card. Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, one of the super rares from the first chapter, continuing to sell for around that $10 plus mark. Plenty of listings selling over the weekend for $9 to $11. Right now, lowest verified is going to be $11.50 by Smash X TCG. Maybe consider getting the foils instead of paying $12 for the non-foil. Why not just pay? Ooh, you know what? These foils went up a little bit. So the foils actually went up a little bit. They're close to $20 now. Two Bros and the Box has it for $17.34. I mean, yeah, you could pay like $5, $6 more and get a foil instead of not the non-foils for the Tinkerbell Giant Fairies. That sounds like a good plan. Arthur Wizard's Apprentice is a potential staple, and depending on the kind of Amethyst bounce deck you're playing, so you maybe consider picking up Arthur's if you want to play an aggro deck, because they're really cheap right now. These were selling for around $15 to $20 at one point, and today we have a lowest verified of one time for $5.50. That sounds like a good, see, that's what I was talking about. Whenever you see cards where I'm like, wow, that's a really good price for that card, that's something that I want to pick up, maybe some foils of. Wow, yeah, I do want to pick up some of these foils, because the lowest verified foil is only $7.50 by the Trapped Out In. After that, they start to bounce out that $8 mark. So, these were selling for like $15, $20 when they were super hyped, and now the foils are less than $10. I think that's a good price. I think that's a good time to buy. Not when they start shooting up and the price start going crazy. I think if I want this card, and I do want a playset of these, now's a good time to look into them. Fishbone Quill, pretty awesome. It kind of surprising. A bunch of these selling over the weekend. This card was about $2, and now its lowest verified is going to be Blinged Out Deck for $4.99. So no longer like a $2 card. As you can see, on January 8th, they were selling for around $2 to $3, and now plenty of them selling for $5 yesterday and today. And the foil price is so close to the non-foil price that a lot of the foils started selling. So we have non-foils for $5 here, and then we have foils here for $7.98. A bunch of the foils were selling for $5 to $6 though. So because these prices are so close to each other, they're gonna diverge. I think the non-foils are gonna come back down a little bit. They'll probably stick around $3 to $4, and the foils should be definitely more than $5. So you'll probably start seeing them sell for about $8 to $9. Yeah, so $7 to $8. Fishbone Quill going up though, pretty cool to see. Maui, Hero to All, continues to go up as well. Lowest verified is going to be $6.50 by the Cards Heaven, so about $7 for your Mauis, and the foils are starting to shoot up too. They three of them sold for $11.99 today. And next we're gonna have our next card. This is going to be Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. Another card you might want to consider picking up, because it's been falling a lot in price. They used to be $20, $15, $10, and now we have a lowest verified of Cardboard Castle for $5.43. And it's a really good card too, you know what I mean? And again, potential staple in Amber decks, so why not get the foils for $10.69 instead? We also have Maleficent Biding Her Time. This card's been going up in price. A lot of them were selling for around $3 last week. As of today, we have a lowest verified of $3.77 by Troll and Toad. Wow, Troll and Toad was like the OG back in the day. I was like where I first ordered cards online. That's crazy. Shop Card Nexus has it for $4.50 with $1 shipping. So almost $5 for the Maleficent Biding Her Time, which is pretty cool to see. A lot of people are using Maleficent Biding Her Time in aggro decks like the Amethyst Steel or the Amber Amethyst deck, which is pretty cool. A bunch of sales happening for that close to $5 range though. So pretty cool. Maybe consider getting the foils for this card since they're only $1 more. Wow. $6 by Ace Collectibles, $6.27 by ARG Circuit Series. Wow, another OG in the game, ARG. That is crazy. Now we have Let It Go. Let It Go continuing to go up in price as well. The non-foils are selling now for $3 to $4, basically $4 now. Speed Force, $3.30 with $1 shipping. Resource Games, $3.75. So $4 now for the non-foils, and the foils have been selling throughout the week for $6 and $5. So let's see how much the foils are today. If you want one, you're gonna have to pay $6.74. After that, $7.99. So these foils are starting to shoot up too for Let It Go, close to $8 for the foil. Yzma Scary Beyond Reason is a super rare that I think is undervalued. They're only $2.50 by Duck and Wolf for the non-foils, and I think Yzma is a really good card, and the foils are still only about $7 to $8. So if you guys need Yzmas right now, the prices are really good. Cusco has been seeing a lot of sales movement today and yesterday, which is cool to see because, like I just mentioned, Cusco was in the finals against Ruby Amethyst with that Emerald Amber deck list. So that's always pretty awesome to see. I do think these tournaments and the meta make an impact on the way we do our shopping, because by going by the looks of this, we have more than 10 sales happening for Cusco just today alone, right? So they were selling a couple of days ago for around $1 or $2, and at $1.75, $1.50. As of today, they're starting to sell for $2.50, $2.99, $2.97 for the non-foils. Today, lowest verified is going to be $2.08 by Resource Games, so no longer $1, it's about $2, which is pretty good. But the foils, check out these foils, because a bunch of them were selling for that $2.60. Right here we have a sale for $2.60, $3.39, but now the lowest verified for the foils are going to be $3.99, almost $5. I think Foil Cuscos are really cool. That's a good card to have in my opinion. It looks like they're going back up in price. Genie on the Job is another card that is going up in price a lot too, because it is played in the Amber Mufasa deck, and we have a bunch of non-foil list sales for less than $1 happening before the prices shot up throughout the weekend, and today now they're starting to sell for around $1.50 at least. We have Blinged Out deck for $1.39, and then silver and cards for $1.75, so about $2 now but for the Genie on the Job, which is cool. The foils were about $2, but now they're starting to sell for $3, so maybe just get the foils for these if you want them, because you might as well pay $3 by Red Clip TCG Trader for foil Genie on the Job, right? Another foil that has been going up in price is Hercules Divine Hero. You play this card in Amber Steel variants from what I know, and it's just a really good card, and I think that this foil has been going up in price because of the meta trend. So they were less than $1 for the foil. Now the foils are $1.99 by the Wasteland Gaming. So it's a $2 to $3 foil now. So if you have these, just make sure you're getting the trade value out of them. Another foil going up is Ariel Who's It Collector. Same thing. Lowest verified is going to be close to $3 for this foil now, which is pretty interesting to see. People are starting to play this deck again, which is kind of funny because it's like an OTK deck, and it's okay. If you're interested in getting this deck, maybe get the foils now before they keep going up. But last, let's go over some sealed product, because over the weekend we saw the first chapter booster boxes shoot up in price, and we saw a lot of sales for those happening, and even the troves kind of started going up in price over the weekend. A couple of them sold for $224, $234, $225, $215, so more than $200 definitely is what they're selling for. As of today, the lowest verified for an unopened trove is going to be $239 by Just Games Lexington. Then NRG has it for $250. So these troves are starting to shoot up in price a little bit, and I know the Rise of the Photoborn troves are only about $60 to $70 right now, and I think maybe consider getting those if you want to have something like this in your collector's arsenal, especially because these troves and the Photoborn troves are going to be different than the Inkland troves, which has been confirmed already, so pretty interesting. And last but not least, the Maleficent playmat has been selling for closer to $100. There were some sales that happened around that $150 range if you guys remember, but as of this weekend, a bunch of people have been listing them again for around that $95 range. So if you paid $150 for this mat, maybe you overpaid just a little bit right now. I do think that obviously these mats are going to stay scarce, so they might shoot up in price again. But if you do want to collect one, they're not $150 anymore. They have listings for $120 by Board Wipe right here. So that's pretty cool to see. I wonder where the prices are going to go for this card. Sorry, for this mat, right? It's always interesting to see how the playmats are gonna impact the market, especially with the new Inklands playmats coming out, which I'm super excited for, and I'm super excited for the meta to change into the Inklands when Into the Inklands is introduced as well. But until then, my goons, remember to stay tuned to Lorcana Goons. Thank you for watching the weekly market watch. We do these every Monday and Friday, so be sure to come back, and we will see you goons next time.